So I'll try it, but I'm going to use my um, their phone as well. So we'll just talk, have a couple questions written down for you, and then if there's anything else that you want to add, then feel free to plug away.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yep.
Okay. So my first question for you is, you've been part of the local drag scene for some time, but have only recently joined as a performer. What inspired you to get on stage?
So I've kind of always wanted to try drag because like it just always looked like so much fun, and I kind of like I'm an artist like at heart, and like I've done all different kinds of like artistic medium, and like I just thought it would be like such a fun thing to try. But what kept me from doing it for a really long time was I have really like terrible stage fright. So I think it was like I kept like thinking about it and putting it off and putting it off, and watching the last season of Dragula and watching Landon Sider just like do so well, and just like he inspired me like so much. I was like, you know what, F this, like I'm gonna try it. And so I like set a date, and I was like, I can't back out. And I like got everything together, and I had no idea like what to do makeup wise. Like knew nothing about makeup. Like never done anything more in my entire life than like put on some eyeliner. So I hit up Aurora, and I was like, hey, will you put me in a face? So I went over to her house. She put me in a face, and I like performed, and I was just like, wow, like I was hooked. So it was just being able to like do my art and perform, and like I mean at that point like the only part of it that was my art was the performance aspect and the mix that I put together, because I hadn't even learned makeup yet. But to be able to do that was just like really freeing almost. And it's just I mean I blacked out most of it because I had such bad anxiety that I couldn't remember most of my performance. And people were like, how was it? I was like, I think it was fun, I feel great now. But yeah, during like I couldn't remember anything about it. But yeah, it was just to be able to go out there and put myself out there and do that. And just after that, like I've been obsessed with it like ever since. So
Awesome. Okay. There's also something I noticed because you haven't been on the scene very long, but your drag king style seems different from a lot of what we see locally. And what I'm used to seeing from a lot of drag kings is more like the sexy kind of, get on all the girls kind of stuff, and stripping. But you, to me, you're more about drama, and I mean that in a good way.
mhm.
Like it's more theatrical, is what it seems to me. Is that how you would explain your drag?
um, to me, I feel like, and like absolutely no shade to any performers because I love everybody's work, and it's just like so awesome to have all these great drag kings like coming up around the same time I did, and that were doing it for way longer than me, to like be able to like draw inspiration from and see them do their thing. A lot of it reminds me of like my high school days, and like it's all very nostalgic, and I see like a lot of drag kings doing like rock music and like stuff that like I was jamming out to when I was in high school, and I love that. And what I didn't really see was like a lot of performers doing like hip hop or anything like that. And I love hip hop music, and I'm have the ability to lip sync to lyrics that are faster. And so I was like, that's what I want to do. And like I love like artists like G-Eazy, and like I love his like style. And so like for me, like I describe my drag as like a fuck boy gentleman. Like he's gonna go out there, take his clothes off, and like try to seduce the girls, but he's also gonna be a gentleman about it. And like yeah, I mean sometimes there's definitely some drama in there. I really like to like perform songs that I like can feel something to, as opposed to songs that I just like, because I'm not much of a dancer, so I can't just go out there and do like a popular bop and just kind of move around, because I'm not a dancer. But yeah, so I guess I have to like really connect with the song before I can perform it. So like I wish I could just go pick a song and be like boop and do it, but like it's so hard for me to like feel good about a performance if I don't feel something about the song. So yeah, like sometimes if I do like a sadder song, it's definitely going to be like something that I can relate to, and like I try and pull memories from my past and like really get into that feeling, even if it's uncomfortable and
Mm,
it's bad memories, but just so I can like make the performance more authentic.
yeah, I love that. I can definitely see it.
Well, thank you.
So speaking of dancing, you are part of a group, the Drag Street Boys, right?
Yes.
So how did that come about?
So it was kind of a thing, like a few of us have talked about a couple times, just like at the club, and she's like, "Oh, it would be so awesome to like have like a boy band of drag kings." And then finally one day I was like, you know what, we're just gonna do this. And like Kevin and I were like brainstorming, and we're like looking at like the Backstreet Boys and like their archetypes for each and every person. I was like, well, if I'm gonna be like the kind of like bad boy or whatever, then like who's gonna be like the little brother? Who's gonna be like the older brother? Who's gonna be like kind of like the kooky one, you know? And so we just kind of were like brainstorming and like other people's like drag styles and fitting them in, and we like picked a bunch of people, and I was like, oh my god, this would be so fun. Messaged everybody, and they're like, yes, I'm so down. And so we just like all got together and we're like, we're gonna do it at this after hours. We picked one. We picked one of the free ones. We knew it was gonna be the free theme that week. Picked that one. And then for that whole month, we just like picked a song, practiced, got together in the parking lot before after hours, and just like made up some choreography, and then we did it. And we just kind of got hooked on doing it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Do you feel like
so
it gained like help you gain more confidence with it being with a group as opposed to being by yourself?
it's so different to like perform with a group and to like, I mean, just my personality, like when I'm on stage and it's me doing my thing, like I love it because I may have stage fright, but I love attention. And so it's definitely different to try and like make sure that everybody is getting like kind of a shared amount of spotlight and to like not take away from anybody else's time that they have. So it's definitely different in that aspect. Like I try and make sure that like everybody's like getting their time, and when I'm in the background, I'm like trying to hype them up and get everybody into it. And so yeah, it's definitely been a little bit of an adjustment, but it is like it's so much less stressful to be out there with a whole bunch of people than it is to like go out and like know that the whole performance is riding on you because you're the only one there. And
Right.
have people to bounce ideas off of for a performance is like really awesome. And so it's just like once we get out there and do it, and like it's Backstreet Boys, it's boy band music, like everybody knows, like even if they
Right.
weren't live during that time, everybody knows it. And so as soon as a song starts, everybody's already into it, and that just takes like all the pressure is gone. We're like, no matter, even if we're not that great, people are still gonna love it because it's music that everybody loves.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. And you brought in a pretty good group of performers. Did they like meet or exceed your expectations? Did you like think they were going to do as well as they did?
Oh, everybody did it. I was like, I know all these performers are great. I know that I know their style, like they're gonna fit in, and it's all gonna be perfect. And it's been like amazing to see everybody like bring their individual like styles into the group, and like it really like we all just kind of fit together perfectly, and we have like a lot of fun when we're doing it. So like even when we're trying to practice and make up choreo and stuff, like it doesn't feel anything like work, like at all. And everybody like has ideas, and it's really awesome that we're all like bouncing ideas off of each other, and there's no like arguments or anything like that. And so yeah, it's been everybody's exceeded my expectations, like for sure. And it's like
Awesome.
it was nice to know that like I was like I didn't have to worry about if someone was gonna like want to put in, because everybody was so stoked about the idea that everybody's just like, yeah, when are we doing this? Let's do it.
Nice. Right. And speaking of, super talented people and hopefully exceeding your expectations, your first season of Maxx Drag Show. You want to talk about that?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. So it was like I had this idea. It was one of those ideas that you have like when you're like not asleep but you're not awake. And then as I'm like falling asleep, I'm like, oh man, I hope I remember that. And then one day randomly, I was talking with a bunch of people, and I was like, oh my gosh, I had this idea. I bounced it off of my little friend group, and they were like, "Oh yeah, and you could do this and this and this." And Kevin, like, he does these like online kind of for fun competition games, like based around like the idea of like America's Next Top Model or like Big Brother or something like that. And so it was kind of like an easy adjustment for him to kind of handle like all the background stuff for that. So like making like posters, which he really like has a lot of fun doing. Doing like spreadsheets for everything to keep track of scores, to like contact people for sponsorships, all that stuff. He handled all that beautifully. I don't have to stress about it, which is nice because it it ended up being a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. And when it kind of just like took off, I was almost like overwhelmed at first because I thought it was going to be like a slow, you know, kind of burn, and then maybe like after the fact, like everybody would be like, oh cool, and then tune in like the next time we did it. And like so many people like were just willing to be like, oh yeah, sure, we'll donate stuff for the prize. And it was like really awesome to see people just like, yeah, no problem, we got you, and like really being excited about it. And then I was actually just talking about this today. I did a live to kind of talk about season 2 a little bit, but to have so many people just like instantly be into it, and to have like we started a brand new Instagram for it. They barely had like 100 followers, and to have a live that had like 40 people in it, like just on a live, and like for an established account like that has thousands of followers, that's no big deal. But for us, for like having 140 followers and have 40 people like tuning in almost like a consistent amount of weeks, like it just, to me it was like people really care about this, they want people to do well, and they're like excited to see what they do. And it just felt really good to like kind of revitalize or change up the standard digital drag show format and just make it like more involved and like try and to award people for that. And I gotta say, like, it felt so good at the end of all this to Venmo Blair Witch $531. It felt so good to me. I was like, I wish I could have done more, but it's an amazing amount, and I was like so happy that people were so willing to contribute to the grand prize tip pot, and to be able to send it and be like, times are tough right now, and so, and like they totally earned it. They earned that, and I like, and more. Like, so I'm so like, it just blew my mind. It's just like I don't have the words to formulate how I feel about it, and I'm like super stoked to do it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna I've got on my list to do a piece for Blair too, to kind of help promote um, with my art too. So to come. um, while you were coming up with the challenges for these folks, and you know, they had a lot of different styles and types of challenges they had to do. Did you learn stuff on the fly as well?
Yeah, there was some times where we were setting something up and it wasn't going to quite work, and we wanted to make sure that everything was adjusted, and so we had to like tweak little things here and there. There was like a lot of preparation. Like we spent like a month preparing for it, which is about what we're going to do now for number 2. But I every single week, like I had a written up thing of like all the rules. So I tried to like lay everything out so that they didn't have to ask too many questions, and like it was all kind of right there for them. And just making sure that we took care of everybody's like personal needs and tried to like help them in any way that we could. And you know, we had a couple people that had to drop out for personal reasons, and so kind of like having to adjust to that situation, and like on the fly being like, okay, well, how are we going to do the live then? We have a set amount of weeks, like it's not like we can really adjust too much. So yeah, just like, and it ended up working out perfectly, because one of the weeks that somebody dropped out, I want to think it was the week that Princess B went home. It was either that week or the week that Holden had to drop out. We had Blair was actually in the bottom 2, and it was the first week, because we didn't tell them until afterwards that Holden had dropped out. So everybody that found out on the live, all the contestants found that out at the same time too. So they had no idea. So we made them lip sync against each other, and then told them right at the very end, just kidding, neither one of you are going home, but this is how close you were to going home. And after that, Blair just took off. Like it was exactly the right amount of pressure that they needed to like really just like kick themselves into gear, and it worked out, and it was beautiful. Like, so sometimes like the little things that you have to change at the last minute are super beneficial.
Yeah. Did you kind of get that sense as you went through the weeks that people who were not safe, who were in the bottom, did they like really just kick it up every time, you know, when they felt that pressure?
Oh yeah, there was a lot of times that some people ended up at the bottom. They're like, I am never, like Blair was like, I am never going to be in the bottom again. I don't like it. Like I'm never doing that again. And yeah, like it's it's definitely not a good feeling to like be in the bottom and be like, oh man, you know. And we had people like just that barely squeaked by too, that were like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like how close I was being in the bottom. So yeah, it was cool to like see like how people like reacted to the pressure and everything. And so we kind of like are taking like how people handled what happened in season 1, and trying to make sure that during season 2, like we apply just the right amount of pressure, but that it's not like overwhelming to anybody.
Right. And then you had a pretty good range of guest performers and judges during season 1, from some, pretty high profile local stars to beyond local. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so it's really just kind of boiled down to like who I like have a rapport with and who Kevin has a rapport with. And so he's actually chats with Disasterina fairly regularly, and she was so down to like be a part of it and donate an original art piece. And I don't know if you saw it, Blair posted it. It's so good. Like, it's so good. But yeah, just kind of like who we had a rapport with. And I had a couple people that I had talked to before, like Calorie and I had started talking to each other a little bit when she was actually here for a Halloween one year when she was at Badlands. It was the same year that
was it the Dirty Work?
No, it was a Halloween during at Badlands. It was when Bitch Puddin was here, and so was shoot.
Yeah, that was Dirty Work night.
Yeah, Jade Jolie was there too.
Yeah, because Calvary came over and was like screaming on us about Dahlia over at Faces afterwards.
Yeah, she was at Faces afterwards too. Yeah, and so we just kind of like ended up like chatting a little bit, and so I was like, okay, well, kind of the trick, at least with Instagram, as far as that goes, if you're not mutual followers, if you send someone a message, it goes to that weird little like request location.
Right.
And I was like, well, we already have a conversation, so if I message this person, they're gonna get it, and I'm not gonna have to like pray that they see it. And so, yeah, she was like, and Charla knows her, and they talk pretty regularly, and we're just like, yeah, it would be awesome if you have something, you get tipped. We can't pay anybody, but like we can, you're gonna get tips or whatever from the performance. And she was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And it was pretty awesome to like also have people like Helen and Juliana and Bijou and Liz and everybody that was just like, yeah, we're so down. And like we have some people coming back to guest judge again, and so that's gonna be really exciting. And we're trying to up ourselves from last season. So I have no idea what the finale is gonna be like, but I hope that it's at least as good, if not better, than it was for season 1.
All right, so to change gears a little bit, and so in between your first 2 seasons of Maxx Drag Race, you have another competition that you're actually competing in as opposed to hosting and producing. So, and that's obviously not quite released yet. We don't know what's going to happen through the different weeks. But did that give you a little more insight into what you want to do with the Maxx Drag Show 2, or was it just a completely different monster?
It as far as like how everything went, totally different. Like the scenario is kind of the same, but as far as like the way it was set up and like just getting all the information and being like, okay, you have to do everything, you have to do it all. So like theoretically, you could do every single challenge and you can go home first and have all these things that you did, and it's like, but at least like for me, even if I say I get sent home first, at least I had the opportunity to do it, and I had the opportunity to really think and like adapt to my drag style, and it actually gave me like so much material to work with, especially for one of the challenges. And it's like something that I've always wanted to try, and it just gave me the opportunity to be like, you know what, F it, I'm gonna do it. And I did it, and it was so fun, and I really am just like, I can't wait until I can perform again live and actually like do that for people, because it was just so much fun to do. But yeah, it was, as far as that goes, it was like a totally different animal. Trying to do all that drag in 2 days was, yeah, it was rough. It was pretty rough.
Yeah, but I also like, how a lot of Root Girls, when they go home, they'll like show their looks that they would have done if they've been on. So I think it's kind of nice for you guys to all have gotten a chance to do all the different categories, just to be able to put yourself out there and see what you can do and really stretch yourself, right?
Oh yeah, I would love to even like have stuff to show like during, like if I get eliminated, to be like, okay, well this is what I did for that, and like at least people are gonna get to see it, even if it's like not in the competition. But I'm still like, oh man, I just want to be, I want to be at least like top 3 so bad, like so bad.
Yeah, and Helen doesn't tell people anything
I know.
more than they need to know. But I mean, it was it was a pretty awesome group. Just everyone who's involved. But I think you're definitely a standout.
Oh, I hope so, especially since it was like no pressure or anything, but I'm the only king, so it's like, oh, I like gotta represent for everybody. And I honestly like intimidated AF because there's so many talented people, and I'm like, how do I compete with people? I'm a baby. I've been doing this for like 6 months. How do I compete with people that have been doing it for years and that are so talented? Like literally every single person in the competition. I'm just like, well, I tried. I did the best that I could. So,
but I mean, you took on the challenge, and if you want to be the best, you got to go against the best. So
yeah, I'll at least learn something, to say the least.
now I'm interested to see who the judges are, because I'm pretty sure Helen chose people who are not going to pick based on friendships or relationship bias. I think they're going to, really focus on performance. So
Oh yeah, I mean, I would hope so. I really tried. Like I really did try. So I mean, I hope at least anybody who judges like sees that I tried to do my best. So.
And then with the Draglands, did you get anything from that experience, or any of the different challenges you had to do? Did you take anything with you into going into season 2 of your show?
Yeah, there's like all different kinds of stuff to take away. Like I said, we're like trying to make sure that like we take into consideration like how people handled the challenges and like the success rate, and like I mean they all went above and beyond, and so we really couldn't like have asked for like a better cast for season 1. And so I mean it's good too to also have, now we have the proof for season 2 to be like, hey, go look at all the stuff that's on the Instagram. That's all the stuff that we asked them to do. It's all still on there. You can see all of season 1 still. So to have something to show people and be like, if you're not sure, look at this. If you don't know how involved it is, because it's like, I don't want to understate that it's like, it's very involved. It's like
right.
asking a lot. It's not just like, here's a theme. You need to make a look and do a performance. That's it. But it's like, no, you gotta be able to take photos of yourself. You have to be able to edit video. You have to be able to come up with looks based on themes and performances, and it's a lot of work. So it's nice to have that, to be able to kind of give someone like an example of what they're going to have to do. And hopefully we're bringing back some people's favorite challenges and challenges that we really liked, and to bring those back. And then we're coming up with new ones, because we're, instead of doing 8 people, we're doing 10 people this time. So it's going to be cool. There's going to be a lot of different stuff to see. Very excited about it. Excited to like change up the format a little bit and see what we come up with.
And do you already have your competitors, or are you still looking for some?
No, we're just casting right now, and the app closes on August 24th. So I'm spamming it everywhere, because I really would just like to have such a large pool of people to choose from that it's very hard to choose. That's what I want. Like that's the ultimate goal. So
right.
I think we had, I want to say like 20 people apply for the first season. So if I could double that, that would be awesome.
And do you have any advice for people who might just be starting out, if they should give it a shot or not?
I would say absolutely. I mean, how could I tell people, oh, if you've only been doing this for a few months, don't do it, when I literally just did the same thing. I've only been doing drag for a few months, and I was like, sure, I'll do this competition against these people that are seasoned and very talented. I would love to. Yeah, I would tell people to do it, absolutely, no matter how long you've been doing it. And we don't care skill level wise, because we just want to see, the people we're looking for are people that, as far as we can tell, appear motivated and want a challenge, and are looking for inspiration. Even people that are like in a little bit of a rut. Like there's nothing to get you motivated more than like someone being like, here's a theme, here's all these other people doing the same thing. And especially when you see other people, what they come up with and how they interpreted something that you all did the same thing, it's inspirational and motivational. And even if you don't make it, even if you get eliminated first, you have all of this first of all, you become part of the family instantly. We all are a family now. They've all been doing drag longer than me, and I still look at them as like my children because I'm so proud of everything that they did. But yeah, you at least get a family, you get motivation, inspiration. You're gonna have people rooting for you even afterwards, and like we've been able to like give like Pockets helped out and given bookings for Pride Night Vacaville digital, and Blair's done it, and then Bersha just did it this last week, and it's been cool to be able to at least expose people also to different audiences. Because now we have everybody following the account that was we've had people from the UK and people from Canada and people from the East Coast and the West Coast and kind of like sprinkled throughout the US. And they brought all their fans, and now the season 2 people will bring all their fans, and the audience will grow, and it's gonna be cool to at least be able to expose people to different audiences. And that's honestly like the main thing that I love about digital drag is like now I have friends from different countries and that have seen me do drag because this is how it's accessible to everybody.
Right. Sorry, I've got this stupid cough. Not COVID, I promise. I don't go out of my house. So you've got a lot going on, just all across the board with the Drag Street boys, with the Maxx Drag Show, and then Draglands, and just being Clive, and then being Miles.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Is there anything that you want to promote, or anything else you want to expand upon that we didn't touch on?
Yeah, actually, I haven't, as if I don't have enough to do right now, I'm actually doing another show pretty soon starting up. Actually, Apple Adams and I are going to start doing a show where we're going to basically stream video games or watch things and do react videos and all kinds of stuff. We'll be doing that on Twitch and putting it on YouTube, and it's gonna be a lot of fun for us to be able to get together and play like VR video games that are like horror based, and you'll get to see us like freak out because neither one of us can handle that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So we're excited to start that and have I don't know, another handful of projects for me to do.
All right, excellent. Okay, so my last questions are all about just where can we find information on the different accounts. So I'll message you that so you can send me the links to if there's YouTube or if there's Instagram accounts, whatever, so I can include that in the article.
Okay.
All right.
Sweet.
Thank you so much for taking time.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right. Got to get back to my work stuff. Ugh.
I feel that.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.